for my person because I have. What? Oh, thank goodness. It was only poison. I will hydrate. Hold on. So I have like 25 years of drawings of my character. And because of that, my character has got a substantial range of outfits and weapons and lore and influences. I didn't mean to drink that then. So yeah, I've got a wealth of stuff I can pick from in that regard. Let's do a comic book, animation, like cartoons. Not to be a huge success. So like I was saying before, I had a webcomic. I have wrote stories for my character. Because like she's a self-insert character for myself. But I also kind of want to keep this one. I'll get it up one later. But yeah, I've made like a proper world for her as well. I did used to draw webcomics, both from scratch and then later digitally and shit. But I removed them when I started streaming, just for privacy reasons. And yeah, I've got heaps of them still. I have heaps of ones that I haven't finished. I've got like 4 storybooks. I have over 35 dream stories. Some of the stuff is published, not all of it is. Lightning resistance, that would be pretty good. I want to keep that. Yeah, I have a lot of shit. I've had like various things going on throughout my life that I've just like done this stuff with. Like the books and stuff, I think I started writing those sometime around from like maybe age 17. I know that the stories for my character and stuff I started writing from age 15. So I've been doing that for a long time. The webcomics, I don't think I started that until I was like 18 or 20 or something like that. Somewhere around there. What else? Oh, how far in am I? I'm not too far. As for like the anime concept and stuff, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing anime. I had always hoped, I'd always hoped when I was like, you know, still in high school and stuff that, you know, I could make my character and my stories into an anime because, you know, I wrote stories for them. I wrote comics and shit. Fuck off, mate. But yeah, no, I just, as I was saying earlier, I'm like, I would not want to have to fuck off. I would not want to have to animate shit myself. There's a special here. Hold on, who are you? You are... I can't get a lock on you. He's in here somewhere. Need you, Valkyrie. I don't know what died in there. I think we killed the special one. That's fine. I gotta go to work. Right, I pitch lit it. No worries, Shadow. It's catching up. I got the wrong weapon on then. So you gotta draw some absolute deformed shit frames animation. There he is. Brief Thorn the Quick. Hold on. Undead extra fast teleportation, lightning enchanted, and I kind of didn't see the rest. But that's fine. Double bow. Do you know how cool it would be if that was something decent? What have you got? What have you got, Eliza? Careful with that. Frames for animation, and my perfectionist ass would be able to stand it. If you only knew how much I'm struggling with that issue. Oh, I forgot to sell these. If you only knew how much I'm struggling with that concept with doing like live 2D rigging and shit, please tell me that was just poison. Okay, I think he might have just been laughing and nothing else. Okay. Yeah, no, the avatar that I'm rigging at the moment, okay, it is poison. I can handle the poison. Yeah, no, I knew from the moment that I was going to do a live 2D avatar, right? So, okay, fill in the gaps here. I started off without any kind of like avatar or any kind of anything as a faceless voices in the void channel, right? And I always kind of knew that if I was going to have any kind of self-representation on my channel, I was going to draw it. and initially I was kind of thinking about making something unique for the channel, and the more I kind of thought about it, the more I didn't resonate with it, because I already have a character that exists who's me, and it would seem silly to have a character that's not me, you know, be me. So yeah, I ended up ultimately choosing my own character that's my self-representation and shit. So yeah, I definitely resonate with my avatar very, very well. So I made the PNG tuber. I had no kind of mind to be a PNG tuber. I kind of knew what a VTuber was, but like didn't really know. And yeah, I'm like, if I'm gonna have like a self-representation of myself at some point, it'll be a VTuber, right? So then like I started looking into like what kind of model would I want to do, because obviously I'd figure out how to make it. Initially I'm like, if I was ever in a position where I had the money, maybe I'd get somebody to do the thing. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of realized that I'm so particular with certain things that I think my own art and my own personalizations of promotion and how I perceive my character and how she functions makes her more unique to me anyway, and makes her like more fitting to me, right? So like I didn't want to do a 3D avatar. I've seen some are really good and some are a little bit like bunk, but I just kind of didn't feel like at the moment there's that much good human anime style 3D avatars. There are a few, but I don't know how to do that shit. Fuck, what are you gonna do? Okay, it's doing lightning up around the corner, that's fine. And then of course I encountered live 2D avatars like reasonably early on into streaming. I'm gonna have to go back. I won't be able to carry, what is that, plate mail? Nah, I won't be able to carry that. Come on, go back. So yeah, I encountered like live 2D avatars pretty early on. I thought they were 3D because of how cool they looked, right? And I'm like, they can move so much. And then I learnt that it's a flat image that people like warp and deform and mold into like the shape of something. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I am going to struggle with like something like that. So then I really started looking at actually like 3D avatars, because I'm like, at least then I can just make it look how I want it, and then I can like spin it around kind of thing and make it like be wherever I need it to be, the way I need it to be and stuff. But I quickly like denounced that when I couldn't like pick up Blender at all. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to trying that live 2D stuff, because like I can draw, and you know, I have the time and I can learn just about anything as long as I have like, you know, the means to do so. So yeah, I'm like, sure, let's go. But
what do you need?
I don't know. It's really quite difficult, because the way my brain picks up on visual images, like for instance, this piece of armor, right? So if you imagine for a second that I want to spin it to rotate it to the opposite side, right? You might be like, oh, just flip it. And that's great. It might maybe do the thing, or it may just look like it's like flipping back and forth. You gotta put some kind of thing in the middle. Plus, it doesn't, I think this is a bad example because this actually does look like it's symmetrical, right? But I guess I have nothing that's not symmetrical. Does Eliza? Not really. I was gonna say, if you had something that wasn't symmetrical, for instance, like say it had a patch on this side and then you flipped it, that patch would now be on the wrong side. So you have to be able to move something on either side without automatically just flipping something, and then like pull it without making it look weird and stuff. And I've never done any formal teaching stuff. Like I've never been formally taught how to draw. So yeah, when it comes down to stuff like that, I do find like perspective is very hard. Like if I was to flip my PNG tuber she leans forwards, which is fair. I lean forward, so shit checks out. But like, yeah, most artists will draw something and flip it back and forth like a bazillion times, and you know that basically lets you make sure that it's looks right from both eyes and shit, you know. So yeah, that's also something I'm dabbling with at the moment. And also, if I can't reflect it, I have something that's symmetrical and then I'm actually manually moving it. I have to also make sure that everything lines up exactly side to side, or otherwise it doesn't look right, you know, in the reflection if something is symmetrically sided but the motion for it isn't. So fun shit. And stream self-drawing, it would be really cool. So I already do art streams. I have cancelled most of the ones for this year because I am not streaming on Wednesdays at the moment because I'm learning how to hold on, let me just chuck, there we go. Yeah, I'm learning how to oh shit, I'm learning how to rig a live 2D avatar at the moment, and so yeah, I need I need the concentration and the time, especially since some of my like sit downs and stuff like that can be like 25-hour sit downs and shit like that, where I've just locked in for like a day or so. But yeah, during those times I'm not talking, and I'm usually listening to music, and that's not usually how I stream. So usually, even if I'm in an art stream and there's music playing and stuff, like if somebody's talking, I'll talk. But this is something where I have never done it before, and I actually have to concentrate, you know, so it's different. So I'm not doing any of that shit on stream at the moment. But generally speaking, like all my emotes and my channel art and all that shit, I have drawn most of it on stream. Like, yeah, some of it takes like 4 to 11 hours and stuff. Some of it I also sometimes just get distracted because art stream's a bit different anyway. But yeah, I do it, it's just I'm a slow artist, so it takes a really long time to get the thing done. Also, this very interesting. The fact you made it makes it a lot more special. Yeah, I find that way. I can't pick up those. Hey, Lone Punman. How the fuck you been? Hold on. You still have, see lightning and stuff. What up? Lighting and stuff and flipping images. Tend to prefer the 2D. Exactly. That's the other thing too, is because my avatar is going to be mostly a non-lit flat object. I don't have to worry as much.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. I don't have to worry as much about the whole light sources and stuff. But if you want to get like technical about stuff like this, like for instance, normally when you draw like an eye, a set of eyes, right? Normally a light source will cast on one side of both eyes, not the same part of both eyes, if you follow. So like in the event of my avatar, I guess there's spoiling a little bit of information there, is I have opted to have mirrored eye shine just because I am a complete novice. I am starting from less than 0 experience. Like, I had to start watching tutorials for, well, I was watching tutorials for about a year beforehand, but I was dedicatedly watching them for about a month before I started, even on the art. So, yeah. And then we got up to the point where I'm doing the, what do you call it? The actual rigging and shit. So, it's a lot. Oh, sorry, I had to cough. I hope that my fucking mute button's working again, eh? I know why that was broken the other day.
Yes.
I saw a gaming studio that allows artists to use their animation tool to make 2D cartoons into 3D animations.
Good evening.
Very nice. You can send. No, it's all good. I've seen a couple where you can use like, you can make either a 2D look or is kind of like 3D and or 3D like 2D. It's very cool. I have seen it. I looked into that Trust me, I tried to look for every shortcut because I'm like, this is going to be a lot of work. And it has been a lot of work. I've been working on, like, I don't know when I started the rigging. I think it was like, maybe April-ish. I feel like it was like May. And I've got hundreds of hours in so far. I can't wear that for ages. But it's not equal or better anyway, so it's fine. We'll throw it out. That's better. Get a cough. So having a reflection in both eyes makes sense for a stream avatar though. You would be lit from the front. Yeah, but the thing is, like, yes, but my art style, I tend to cast light on one side dominant more than the other. But I am too novice to be able to get shit to go where I want it to be. Like, for instance, when you make like a live 2D avatar and stuff like that, like, you really should start with a flat front facing image, like everything's dead facing flat towards you kind of thing, and then you got to figure out how to fucking make that shit look like human shaped, like rounded and stuff. And yeah, it's challenging as hell. But like, yeah, in my case, I had to make that kind of, what do you call it? Like allowance or whatever. There's a better word for it. But I kind of had to let that slide for the eye shines because that's a huge thing in my character. I don't know if I can zoom in on this screen. Hold on. Yeah, I can. But yeah, typically I have light cast from one side, right? And I prefer that. This is not the best example of eyes. I have a lot better drawings of eyes and shit like that. But I had to kind of like, instead of having the little bottom dot on one side, it had to be on both, you know. So it's, what's the YouTube shorts? Give me a second, that's a bit, get curious about name of shorts video was Smack Studio. He's sprite of 2D drawings. Your own game. I can't draw anything, gave up. Be very expensive and risky, rather keep my investment in other things. That's fair. Like, it may not have necessarily been that, but I've seen something similar to what you're saying. Like, I do know of a couple things. I have referenced so many videos. I actually don't know all the videos I've referenced for what I'm actively working on. And I was looking at that the other day and I'm like, somebody at the end of this is going to ask me, some cheeky fuck's going to be like, oh, can you cite your references and stuff? And I'm like, mate, I wish I could. But unfortunately, like, YouTube history only like keeps track up to about a year. And typically when I'm rigging, I'm usually listening to like a playlist. So it's just like ultra long. It's super far down there. I'm never going to find the whole fucking lot. Plus, I've also clicked on some that were not useful and others were useful. And occasionally I find, you know, the same useless one for like my kind of character or whatever. Like, there's plenty that are really, really useful. It's just that because of my art style, it's not useful for my character. So I'm not saying they're useless, I'm just saying it's not useful for me. I can imagine working digitally. I'm a pencil guy. Yes, so I also prefer to draw manually, like old school on paper with pencil preference first. So even my avatar that's on the screen at the moment, I drew her on paper with a pencil, and I think I went out of my way to buy fucking tracing paper so that I could trace the Kitty Venus alternate form over the top of her without altering the original image, because I couldn't just wing it digitally. And then I actually didn't draw that till like a year or so later, and I think I ended up just using a different bit of trace paper to do a different style and stuff anyway. But I don't know if this is where... No, that's right. That's where we came in. But yeah, no, all my emotes, my avatars, my channel panels are the only exception. I did not draw those manually. I actually had the worst looking fucking paint image. I literally like opened my phone to like some kind of shit fucking paint editor thing that existed on it at the time. And I like scribbled a bunch of lines and rough shapes, and I'm like, something like this was my reference piece, and I'm like, good enough. I kind of need these guys to kind of walk up and around the corner but not hit me because they're all fucking electric dudes. That was a total facing flat forward. It's kind of similar to how 3D avatars start either T-pose or civilian pose. Exactly. Well, that's the hardest part, is when I've got something that's a flat image, because that was the other hard part actually, because I don't draw flat, like front forwards images. So here's another thing too, is like, I know it's very common in the VTubing sphere to have like reference sheets and shit. I don't have one, and I don't know if I'll ever fucking have one, because like, I just don't draw flat image versions of my character. And on top of that, my character has got some wiggle room on stuff, but like, of course, it's one of those things where like only I know the reasons for why the things are. Most people aren't going to give a shit about like the deeper lore for like some of this stuff. So yeah, there'd be like canonical errors and shit like that based on whatever was happening in a specific timeline that thing existed in, kind of crap. But yeah, no, like trying to draw a flat image on paper and then trying to clean that up digitally and then trying to figure out how that flat image is going to twist and bend and warp and like rotate and all that shit so that it ends up looking like it's like, you know, more than just a flat image, you know.
I can't carry anymore.
I picked up a lot of shit. I gotta get back. We'll tuck around the corner, we'll go back, because I don't trust that there's not skeletons down the bottom. Ow, my knuckle. What else? Let's, no, I saw that. I like how you made the lightning and shadows in your cartoon. Really good. Oh, the lighting and shadows. Oh, yeah, no, I like the shadows and shit on the outfit that I've got on at the moment. The funny thing with my character is when I actually drew her in this style, hold on, I'll bring her back up for a second. There we go. So I actually didn't use any highlights. If you take a close look, there is not a single highlight on her, and it might look like she's got like lighter hair and stuff like that, or lighter part of the ribbon, but the lighter part is actually the base part, and I only added shadows to it. Like for instance, the hair color is swatched off my actual hair color and stuff like that. Like I've got like the brown, the blonde, the purple is swatched off real photographs of hair color that I've had, and so they were the main part, the like slightly darker bits and the shadowy bits and stuff, like what it kind of toned through to. And like the clothing shadows and stuff like that, I don't know, these days I prefer to just add shadows instead of adding a highlight. I tend to find that adding highlights make her look a little bit too glossy in this day and age. I don't know why, I don't know, probably just like the way I draw it perhaps. But I don't really enjoy it that much anymore with like adding highlights and stuff. But there's sparkles. Yeah, the sparkle's always on Get So Close right now. It's well, not always, but I still got it on from the September event. Nobody pulled me in close, so nobody saw the sparkles, so I just left it on. Come back for Christmas, New Year's. They will definitely be back over Christmas for sure. I don't think I'm streaming across New Year's this coming year. So I've got, like I said, I've got this week and next week, and then I've got 2 weeks off for streaming. And then I've got my what do you call it? My stream anniversary is next month, and then in December, I think I usually take the week between Christmas and New Year's Day off. Because my partner has that time off. So I normally just like be home. Plus, the week leading up to the Christmas holidays and shit, I'm normally working on my best of acrylic clips and stuff for YouTube, compiling all of my like years worth of clips and or like game footage and shit like that for like the moments that you guys seem to like the best. Plus there's also the like the last year or so I think I did cute acrylic noises video as well, which was like, I don't know, fucking 50 seconds of like miscellaneous squeaks. I don't think it was just exclusively squeaks, there was all sorts of shit. Hey Bubba, how you been? As the sort of backs went to work, but it's all good. This is something. It's always good to see you. No worries. I am around. I'm trying to, apart from like when I've obviously got like time scheduled off, I am trying to like keep to my 4-hour streams, my 4 days a week at the moment. Well, I'd kind of like to have the 5 days, but as long as I'm actually doing practical rigging on those Wednesdays and or getting acceptable rest to maintain like my health and stuff, both are acceptable for me. Otherwise I just feel like I'm wasting a day. What else is happening? A couple of lurks going on. Yeah. No, I think last year I had set up like all the nice like Christmas decorations and shit, and then I had to change from Twitch Studio to Streamlabs because Twitch Studio decided that it was no longer going to be a platform. And I'm like, okay then, I guess. Hold on, let me hit you. Yeah, I thought so. I could kill him dead. Yeah, so anyway, that meant that I had to like recreate all the scenes and all the like put up all the decorations again and all that sort of stuff, which is kind of a bit of a bummer. I guess that's kind of where like, you know, VTube Studio kind of wins in that sense. Like you have your materials and shit in there and it's just that one program. Well, it's not all in that one program, but you know, it's a bit more that way. Like I was kind of like, I don't know, lightheartedly amusing myself with the concept that like what I realistically should have done for a Live 2D avatar to begin with, I realistically should have taken my PNG tuber and I probably should have put her into like the rigging program and like got it so that, like her eyes can move and like her mouth can move as like a fundamental thing, and like all the different hairs and outfits and stuff, so that like VTube Studio would be able to take the weight of like all those things on her as opposed to like the VTube Mini program and stuff, you know. But yeah, no, I sort of stayed away from that because my character is on an angle and it's supposed to be harder to do like an angled direction, like you're moving stuff around and stuff like that doesn't work as well for it and stuff, which I kind of get, but I heard an amulet then. But yeah, no, I think based on how hard a flat forwards image is, sideways would be terrible. Hey cat, how the fuck you been? I heard you've been like sick with the flu and possibly like, I don't